Welcome on my Wellness Wednesdays with the Morph Bag. Roberta, you are London Sustainable Stylist, called like that and also well recognized like this. It is an absolute honor to have you here because I know you've appeared in BBC, ITV, Pure London, etc., 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 and now you are on my humble platform. So I'm delighted to have you here. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Would you like to introduce yourself in your own words?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, Giovanna, you did a great job introducing me. But yes, my name is Roberta Lee, and I am the Sustainable Stylist based in London, so known as London Sustainable Fashion Stylist. And I am an ambassador for ethical and sustainable fashion brands and a great believer in wearing your values. And I'm an avid outfit repeater. And I think the true sign of something that's sustainable is something that you can wear over 100 times. So these are just some of the things that, sort of represent who I am as a person and what I believe in, and a lot what my work centers around. So I really think it's important to live, eat, sleep, wear your values. And that's why I love supporting brands like yourself, Giovanna.
Thank you very much. Roberta, before we start talking about the sustainable wardrobe and exactly what it means, because it means to a lot of people different things. I think that commonly people do believe that having a sustainable wardrobe means purchasing sustainable products, but it actually goes far beyond that. But before we talk about this, you're obviously a fashion stylist. What was your morph moment that actually triggered this desire to focus on sustainability in your styling efforts?
Can I just say, I'm so pleased that you're doing this series. I wanted you to do this so long ago, and I love this morph moment that you're doing. I'm just so grateful that you're doing it. I'm so excited.
Well, we're all going through this metamorphosis, don't we, through life? Life changes, there are other triggers, and we discover new passions, and it's important actually to talk about them, because a lot of people might have a passion and have not what is the past perfect of dive? Dove, have not dived. I think it stays dived. I've not dived into it, and you know, I had several morph moments in my life, and I did take the opportunities and did my dove into them. Anyway, whatever. I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So, what was your morph moment? How did you actually become sustainable in the styling world?
Well, for me, I was starting out leaving the corporate world, having actually done my marketing paper on sustainability anyway, and understanding the great importance of a business's role in sustainability and the huge impact that has on the planet. As I was transitioning out of corporate, and I thought to myself, you know, I want to do something that is than just getting a paycheck and chasing a bigger salary every contract. So, oh, wonderful. The noise is happening outside. I might, if it gets too much, I'll just jump up and shut the door. So for me, it was about a combination of trying to feel empowered in my confidence. So I understood that when I looked my best and I was really taking care of myself, that really gave me an element of confidence that I maybe underestimated was like a key part of being able to take control of your life. But then I started to realize, hey, this passion for sustainability, but wait, fashion and confidence and sustainability, none of this all goes together. So I didn't realize actually at the beginning that all of these things would come together and actually be what I'm doing today. And so it was when I was doing more research and looking into the fashion industry and meeting other entrepreneurs like yourself. They're like, hey, you're a stylist. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I'm trying to navigate like what type of stylist I want to be. And they would say, hey, do you want to check out my brand? And it just so happened the first few brands that I interacted with were new ethical brands. So, hey, don't really know much about this ethical fashion movement. I watched the true cost and boom. The moment for me was like, wow, I was that person that's contributing to everything that goes against what I believe in. I say I believe in sustainability, yet I shop like it's going out of fashion. I was like, wow, I just hadn't put fashion and sustainability into the same equation, and I hadn't understood the real impact that it has on people, planet, and also, you know, the animals are involved in this equation too.
Yes.
And that for me just went, wow, trigger, 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 and all of these things just started to happen. And it was right there and then I thought, I can't be a fashion stylist, not in the traditional sense. I just can't do it. I can't encourage people to go out and shop, shop, shop. And that's just not going to work for me. And so I decided to be a sustainable stylist. And I thought, I don't even know whether this phrase is ever going to catch on, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to give it a shot. And actually, it didn't. And so I didn't advertise myself as a sustainable stylist at first. What I did is I just said I'm a stylist and I'm interested in sustainability. And then slowly, as you know, over the years, the conscious collective has changed. But so for me, that was really my morph moment, that kind of leaving my old world, stepping into a new one, and just seeing a documentary which kind of pulled everything that I thought was important to me together in one place, and sort of articulated it and just showed it to me in a way which was never in my conscious awareness. And that was that. And I decided that, yeah, I have plenty of clothes. I don't need to go out and shop. I'm actually, do you know what? I'm so overwhelmed with my contribution to this situation we're in that I'm actually not going to shop anymore. So I decided to stop shopping and start styling myself from my existing clothes in my wardrobe, in storage, stuff stuffed under the bed, things in boxes that I hadn't opened, things with tags on. And that became my journey. And that was it for me. And I really started to evolve and turn into a sustainable stylist, because I wasn't just talking about it, I've done it. And I've gone through the entire process of stop shopping and styling with what you already own. And that is one of the fundamentals of building a sustainable wardrobe, because that's what we're here to talk about.
Yes. No, it's great. It's lovely, lovely story, because it's so extreme, right? You came from corporate and now here you are styling sustainably and being an activist in the field, and well recognized in our industry. So let's talk now practically, right? We've got people listening and wondering, so how on earth do I get to have a sustainable wardrobe, and what are the benefits of actually having a sustainable wardrobe? I can tell you from my own experience that
it's better to hear from a client.
It's amazing, because look, personally for me, I absolutely loved going on holiday. Why? Because whilst packing was always very stressful to pack the right clothes, I absolutely loved once I arrived at destination in the hotel and there was an empty closet and I could hang only my favorite pieces of clothing in the closet, and I would know exactly what there is, and there was no doing wrong, because they were just my favorite clothes, right? They would fit perfectly, they would look good, they would make me feel good. And that feeling that I had on holiday, I never had when I got home, because I would open my wardrobe and things would follow me, and I would put things on and they wouldn't fit and they wouldn't look right, until I met Roberta. So, Roberta, you are a wizard, really, because you are not overwhelmed by the amount of clothes you found in my place, but you very cleverly, in a very structured manner, looked at my possessions, looked at my body shape, looked at my veins and my complexion, and you started eliminating bits that were not suiting me shape-wise, were not looking right in terms of complexion. I literally, the colors that you told me are my colors. They just saved me so much money in going to the beautician and having some funny face lifting facials, because they do change your complexions, right? And it's just amazing. Anyway, so you've done all these wonderful things and we got rid of bits, but then how do you get rid of things? What do you do with the items you don't use? And anyway, would you, in a more eloquent way, tell our viewers how to actually get on with a wardrobe that is full of things, how you go through the elimination process, and then actually how you built the famous capsule wardrobe that everybody talks about, and nobody really knows exactly what those items are that constitute a capsule wardrobe, and what is the magic about it. How you
Okay.
can end up with a smaller wardrobe and more things to wear, because that is the magic. That is exactly what I ended up with.
Okay, all right.
Lots of time in the morning. So
Lots,
you go.
lots of requirements there. So let me see if I can remember all of them and work my way through it. So first of all, how do you get a sustainable wardrobe? Well, you don't get a sustainable wardrobe. A sustainable wardrobe is a journey, not a final destination. I believe you
I
know
love that.
that. And so the most sustainable wardrobe that you could ever have is the one that you've already got. Okay, so it's all about starting with what you already own. The second thing I'd like to say about it's really hard to build a sustainable wardrobe that's going to serve you long term if you don't have clarity on your personal style, because you will be influenced by trends and what other people are wearing and doing rather than focusing in on yourself. So there's always a little bit of internal work that has to be done first before you go for the ultimate wardrobe purge and you edit through everything. So obviously I knew you. So our goal of refining your wardrobe relating to your style and aspirations and personality was a little bit different to somebody just coming straight at it. Say you're watching this video today and you go, hey, I'm going to go off and create myself a sustainable wardrobe. Well, the first thing you should do really is take some time to think about creating a mood and a vision board, and think about a sustainable wardrobe that's aligned with your values, because your values and a sustainable wardrobe are intertwined. So it's not always a conscious awareness, but when you start to question it, you go, aha. We'll use a great example, Giovanna, about if you were a vegan and then you realize, oh, okay, these products are not considered vegan now. What's your preference on sustainability? Are you so kind of devoted to the animal activism side of things that these items can no longer be in your wardrobe, or are you a bit more balanced in terms of the sustainability issue at hand here is I need to use these items? And so you need to figure out where your values lie, and then that will help influence what decisions you make in your wardrobe, what things will stay, what things will go, what things will be added in the future. So that's a very important step. And without doing that in the first place, you'll find you will struggle to build and create and refine your wardrobe. So now we've got a good sense of who we are, what we believe in, and what we want our wardrobe to say about us. So the next thing is actually to really, really focus in on our natural assets, who we are and what we've got. Now, we're all beautiful.
Our assets.
We're all human beings. We're all beautiful inside and out. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for us to identify some of our amazing personal traits. We tend to focus on the things that we're unhappy with, and that's fine, because that's what we do. You have a fantastic day and you achieve 100 things. You don't achieve one thing. What's the thing you think about at the end of the day? The one thing you didn't achieve. And so we do
we all do this. Particularly control freaks.
Yes.
And perfectionists.
I know it's tough. But we do the exact same thing when we are critiquing our own appearance and our own body. And let's face it, a lot of women, myself included, suffer from a little bit of body dysmorphia. We see something different in the mirror than what we actually are when we kind of break it down. So measure your body, and I promise you the measurements that you get from measuring your body will be very different from the measurements you think are up here.
It's true, yes.
Exactly. So get clear on your body shape and your measurements. It's going to help you a lot start to understand, okay, so I'm actually not this big at the top of my body. I have more balance and proportion. So those things are really key, because that's going to help you understand what items are going to be the most flattering on your body shape if you are looking to create balance, and maybe you have a few areas of your body that you kind of don't want to draw attention to. And then, of course, Giovanna, you so passionately spoke about the power of wearing the perfect colors. So,
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, I had
amazing.
no idea. It's amazing because we all get naturally drawn to dip to colors we like.
Mm-hmm.
And we automatically think, oh my gosh, I love this color. And then we put in ourselves, and the color itself makes us feel good, but it doesn't make our face look right.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of us can come a little bit unstuck with feeling a certain way about a color, as in we might love a color, but then maybe the color doesn't love us. And we may really dislike a color, but you put that color on and you're like, my goodness, I had no idea I could rock brown. You know, like, who knew I could wear brown and yellow so well? And you're like, I would never, like, not me. They're not my colors, but like I do this with clients with color analysis, and they go, oh, why are you going to put that color on my shoulder there? And then then they go, oh, and then like you add like a different color to the collection. You've got like a brown, a yellow, and a pink, and all of a sudden we've got this really funky 70s vibe, and it's vibrant, but it's not too much in your face. And you're like, oh, okay, I didn't think that I could, you know, wear colors like that. I just never even expected it to be an option for me. And so that's the beautiful thing about color analysis, is that it really helps you open your mind to colors you would have never otherwise explored.
True, and actually close you up towards colors that are totally bad for us. Because what really shocked me is that I thought that black suits everybody. And then you show me, for example, on me, the difference between a black and a navy.
Mm-hmm.
Equally elegant, right? I mean, if you want to have a little black dress, if you have a little navy dress, it's going to have the same effect in terms of, you know, chicness.
Yeah.
But the color, the difference in color, I had no idea. I thought a black suits everybody.
Or this, I mean, black is easy. Black is
Fleming.
Black is just, you know, one of those colors so readily available. So many people have so much black in their wardrobe. People think that black is slimming. People think that black hides a lot of things. And so it's a natural color to go towards to pull out of your wardrobe. But when you discover you could maybe switch black for like a dark gray or a navy or even a deep brown, people are like, I never even thought that I could actually, it doesn't have to be a little black dress. It could be a little olive dress. It's like whichever color really, you know, brings your skin to life and illuminates you. Like that's going to be your version of the black. And that's quite a strange thing to wrap your head around. But again,
Yeah, absolutely.
An important part of restructuring what are your core pieces in your wardrobe. So if we've discovered maybe black is making your complexion fight, and it's perhaps making you look a bit more tired and older and a bit more drawn in, and making those dark
we don't look older.
dark circles seem more.
Gravity does a good job with that already.
We don't want those things, but when we throw those black clothes on, sometimes that's what happens. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm a cool.
Yeah, you can pull it off. Yeah,
I can pull off black, but you know, there are colors I can't. You know, I can't wear olive green or mustard. You know, those colors.
My colors.
They are not my friend. And I love the colors, but they just don't like me. But you know, we shouldn't need to put on so much makeup to be able to make a color work. Now, the goal of streamlining your wardrobe and getting not only a sustainable wardrobe, but one that, you know, is a capsule wardrobe, which means it's easier for you to use. You get more love out of fewer pieces. It's about nailing the colors, because once you get the colors right, it's easier for you to get ready. You can even eliminate that process of having to put tons of makeup on just to hit the shops or quickly go out because you're self-conscious. You're like, you know that this color always makes you look a bit ill or washed out. So, you know, you have to spend 5 minutes putting some makeup on. When you've got the best colors in your wardrobe, you put the colors on and it looks like you've already got your foundation on. And you've experienced this yourself, haven't you, Giovanna?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, incredible.
The illuminating effect of the right colors. So, of course, a sustainable wardrobe should factor in those colors that are going to make you look radiant. And because those are going to be pieces that you want to wear again and on repeat and with multiple outfits. So they've got to be really hard-working hero pieces. So you may be switching black for blue, and it's a sustainable wardrobe is a journey, not your final destination. You're going to be looking at how you can subtly start to switch out these pieces without just chucking everything out and running straight out and trying to replace it all in the perfect colors. So
yeah, that would not be a sustainable thing to do, folks.
It's not a sustainable thing to do. That's why I think if you are interested in going on the journey of creating a more sustainable wardrobe and working on your personal style, it's really amazing if you can get a few of your friends or, you know, your family members to do it at the same time, because you may be able to swap colors around in your wardrobes. Very often you can, I've actually done group sessions, and you can have a family, mother, daughter, cousin, best friend. They're all sat in the room. They all think they've got exactly the same complexions, and they all come up totally opposite in the color seasons. And of course they can mix and match and share and switch out certain pieces from their wardrobes, which makes that a sustainable way to get started. And then of course you spoke about, you know, like getting the ideal capsule collection. Now, most of us already have a lot of the ideal pieces in the wardrobe. However, they may not be the right color. However, they may not be the right fit. But that doesn't mean you need to get rid of them yet. We still have to explore what else we can do with them. Okay, this is where the whole sustainable styling thing comes into play, because you work with a stylist that knows enough about how garments can be reconstructed or maybe created into something different. You can suddenly have a wardrobe full of clothes that you underestimated. The dress can become a top that's been redesigned to actually flatter your upper body, and maybe the lower part can become a skirt that's maybe shortened to flatter shapely legs. So it's about looking at what you've already got and seeing what can be done to take them to the next level. And a lot of fabrics, if they are natural fabrics, not polyesters and things like that, they can be dyed depending on what color they are. They can definitely be dyed if they are neutral colors to begin with. You could actually dye those into more vibrant colors or darker colors that are relevant for your color palette if you're looking for your building blocks for your wardrobe. So really there are endless options already sitting in your wardrobe. Now that's the key thing here. I think when we get started with building a sustainable wardrobe, one of the areas I like to focus in on is obviously alterations and tailoring. And then it's looking at accessories, because accessories for me can really build or make or break an outfit. And if you've got the right accessories, that for me is the building bridge between going from something that you were not massively excited about, taking it and then styling it up with the right accessories, maybe in the perfect colors for you whilst you're on the journey. Maybe you're still wearing the black dress, but you're wearing a bag which is in one of your perfect colors. And it's about thinking forward to the future and investing in items. And you may be investing in them new from ethical and sustainable fashion brands and supporting small independent businesses, or you may be seeking to find them pre-loved. And no, I would always say look pre-loved first if you can, but then if you have your heart set on something that's being made new, you know, look at it as an investment piece and see if you can use it in at least 5 different ways within your wardrobe before you buy something. Make sure you can get at least 5 different looks out of it, because then you know it's going to work with even more in your wardrobe. So that's where I would get started with the sustainable journey, is actually taking a deep dive at where you are right now in your life, what you want to achieve, get clear on your values. Once you've got that down, you can go in for the edit. If you go in for an edit without doing a bit of work on your personal style and you don't have clarity on your body shape and your colors, the edit will be significantly harder, but it's not impossible. It might just mean you need to keep doing it again and again. And as you acquire more knowledge and information about your body shape and the colors that you're figuring out, you just have to keep coming back to it and keep coming back to it. It's a journey. It's a journey. And then, of course, you'll start to edit everything out, pull out the things that work for you, really start to identify those key pieces that not only look good, fit great, color's perfect. You'll start to tap into how it makes you feel, and you'll be like, wow, this is a power piece. Like, this is what I'm going to wear when I stand on a stage, or this is what I'm going to wear when I'm going to a job interview, and I want to nail it because I want to feel like the person I know I can become. And standing in this dress makes me feel that way. That's powerful. So you'll start to build a relationship with the pieces in your wardrobe on a one-to-one basis. Imagine that, actually feeling like you have a relationship with every piece that's in your wardrobe, rather than pulling stuff out. Go, I didn't even know I had that. It still has the tags on. In fact, I don't even know when I purchased this. I mean, if your clothes were your friends, how would that friend feel? You don't remember their name.
I was going to ask you to say that.
You don't remember their name. You don't know where you met them. You don't know where you purchased them. You didn't even know you had them. I mean, that if that was a friend, yeah, they would be very upset with you. So think of your friend, think of your clothes as the good friends that they should be. And they deserve to be worn and cherished and come out to play. They deserve to be worn. So that's really important, to look in your wardrobe and actually get a relationship going with each and every piece. And be able to see them. As you know, Giovanna, one of the key tricks that I always talk to my clients, particularly clients that have a lot of stuff to begin with, is it's best to be able to see as much of your wardrobe as possible. When you have loads of stuff in storage and loads of things in boxes and you can't see it, easy to forget it, and then it's easy for those pieces to not become core members of your everyday collection. So I hope that that's been a really good overview of how to build a sustainable wardrobe.
Very good overview, yes. And then there's another thing actually that I found very helpful that you've done in my case. There were some items that I liked, but I couldn't actually coordinate with another 4 items in the wardrobe, right? Those were single pieces, but I could not part from them.
Yeah.
So you said, get a box.
I did.
Put them in there, and whenever you feel you want to go shopping, look in that box first.
Yep.
You know what? It sounds maybe a little bit silly, but I found it so practical.
Yeah.
I have been actually dipping into that box, and now, which is it, a year later? I don't even know. It's not even a year later. I'm so confused because since COVID happened, I lost the track of time when something happened. Anyway, whenever we did that. Now I've got the box, and now I have actually some items that I still use out of it, and the rest will have to go because really I haven't felt the need to dip into it. So that's also a clever way to do it. So now let's assume we go through all this process that I went through. What would you recommend people to do with items that cannot be altered, cannot be changed, are totally the wrong color? We can't give them away to people we know because of whatever reason. And we actually want to sell items that are too precious, because I find myself that there are a lot of pieces that I'm happy to give to charity, but there are some pieces that are, I can't say designer, but you know, were expensive enough to feel bad about having to part from them. So what do we do? And we will actually share then later all the tag, you know, the links to these places, but can you advise, please?
Well, as you know, I have a great amount of resources on my website, and there is a blog that gets an incredible amount of traffic, and that is people asking the exact same question about where do I sell my clothes. And there are lots of different places and options now. The pre-loved clothing movement has come on such a long way since the start of the pandemic. So the first thing I would say is, obviously, there are lots of different places that garments can go if they can no longer stay in your wardrobe, if they are not suitable for the charity shop, and they are not ideal for giving away to family and friends. Now, first of all, think practically. If you've got a bunch of items which can't be repaired, you don't love them anymore, maybe low value, might not be good enough to even go to the charity shop, please don't ever put that in the bin. These clothing should never ever go into the bin, because a lady somewhere used her hands to create the garment, and I think we forget that clothes are not made by robots, and so we should just never let clothing go into the trash because it's just sacrilege. We should think about what we can do with it. And so some things you can do straight away at home is you can cut clothing up into rags. You can cut old clothing up into lots of different pieces and use it for stuffing in your pillows when they start to, lose a bit of their plumpness. There's definitely a lot of things that you can do with clothes that you can't imagine what to do with them next, but almost there at the point where you want to put them in the bin. Think about wrapping paper. The new trend now is actually wrapping in material.
Oh, really?
So when you gift, yes, the most sustainable way to gift is to, if you have an old t-shirt, a men's shirt, something, it's got a stain on the front, the buttons are in a hole under the armpit. You think, oh, what can I do with that? But if it's an expensive shirt, it's quite a nice pattern. Cut out as much of the material you can salvage into a nice square. And then when you gift something to somebody, you obviously pop the gift in, and then there's a nice way to wrap it. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube actually for this. And then you can actually tie it with a nice bow and give it to them, and then say to them, that's great, this is sustainable wrapping, you can use that and pass that on to somebody else. So that's a perfect way to prevent clothes that you can't imagine what to do with them, turning them into something else for the home. If you're handy with a sewing machine or even an iron, Wonder Web is this, it's like glue, and you cheat. You can basically cut out as much of the material that you can salvage from a garment, fold it all up and to make it into the shape of a little bag, and then get the iron, turn it inside out and iron the edges, and there you have a gift bag. You don't need to go to the store and buy it.
This is genius. I didn't know that. I knew about using newspaper to wrap gifts, but not.
Material is great. Another great one for saving things. So we've just saved a shirt. What do we do with the sleeve? Okay, we're not going to chuck the sleeve in the bin. You turn it up where the cuff is at the top, fold the cuff down.
Okay.
The bottom where you've chopped the arm off. Seal that. You have to stitch it. You can't Wonder Web it if you're going to put a bottle of wine in there. And then you thread some ribbon through the cuff and you tie a bow. And then you pop the wine in there.
Are you kidding? That's such a great idea.
I know, all about this. I have a terrible Facebook video from about 4 or 5 years ago where I actually do a demonstration of this. So it's the sleeve. The sleeves make great gift bags because they're obviously, you can decide how long you want them. But so there are no wrong ways to recycle and reuse your clothes. These are just some things that maybe you may not have thought of, which is great because Giovanni, you hadn't even considered doing any of these things with the materials. Now you've obviously got some scraps of materials and little things like that. This is where you have to start thinking, okay, there are different places where you can recycle scraps of materials. Very often there are lots of fashion businesses that will collect scraps of materials and they will regenerate it and turn it into something new, like not necessarily our pet, but actually the brand from Bello makes a lot of their fabric from the offcut on the floor. So again, it is about just kind of thinking about what to do with those, gather them all up, put them into a bag. Once you've got a big collection, then you can speak to some haberdasheries, you can speak to the charity shops, you can just ask around and find out who might be looking to, collect fabric scraps, and then that can go somewhere and you can feel good knowing that, I didn't actually put anything in the bin. That's great. So now we're moving on to the pieces that we don't want to chop up, but we quite like to get a little bit of money back on them.
Yeah.
There are two
and
options.
what if you have loads of them, right? If you do a clear out, you end up with tons of those items.
So there are options. Now, there's probably a whole bunch of them where you think, I'd like to sell it, but I kept it for a reason because I feel like one day I might wear it again.
I might fit into it.
Yeah, I might fit into it. I mean,
I've got some of those, but I will have to go. There's no way.
Or it's an occasion piece, but you love it. Yeah. And you think, well, if I was to go to a ball again, I would wear that. And now I've learned how to style things differently. I would style it up a different way with different accessories. So you think, well, I'd like to keep it, but then you think, yeah, but I'm not going to wear it. And when's the next time? When would I wear this? So this is why I think rental is great, because you can release the equity of your wardrobe through rental, those high value pieces that you just love, but you're not quite ready to give away fully. It's a great way of dipping your toe into the water to kind of test how you feel about your pieces really leaving your wardrobe. Like, is it so bad that they've gone? Because once you've kind of made the first step of releasing them from your home into the wild so somebody else could possibly enjoy them, and then you find out someone's maybe rented one of your pieces, and you'll see a picture of them, maybe they've posted like based on the platform that you're, and then you get a great sense of, oh, it feels so amazing to see that lovely dress out there being loved and enjoyed. It might change your entire perspective on rentals and renting your pieces out. Say you don't want to rent and you're just dead set and renting's not for you, you don't like the idea of it, then, you know, there are plenty of places for you to sell your pieces. There are independent boutiques that are popping up everywhere where people are curating things independently. You know, Giovanna, I used to do this. I don't do it anymore, but there are lots of people that are just dedicated to collecting pre-loved pieces of a certain value, really well taken care of, and then they will sell on your behalf. They will take quite a high commission, but that's because they're doing all the work. And they will also collect and take it all away from you, so you don't have to store it at home. And then there are other platforms like My Wardrobe HQ. If you have really great designer stuff, you can actually list it to be rented and sold. So you get the best of both worlds there. So you can decide. And then, of course, if you want to be in control of it all yourself, and you don't want to use another platform and outsource the work, and you want to keep it all stored at home, and you want to be responsible for managing it all, shipping, details, the marketing.
It's a big job.
It's a big job, but once it's done, it's done. You can use platforms like eBay and Vinted and Vestair Collective. You can also do some stuff yourself from home. So look, there's Depop. These platforms are really easy to use. You just take a few pictures, upload some details, pop a few hashtags in, set the pricing, and then as and when things sell, you have to nip to the post office and ship them off. Now, different people will be willing to go to different levels of admin and work. Me personally, I have used quite a lot of the different platforms over the years. I tend to shop on eBay, but I don't sell on eBay. I tend to sell on Vinted, and I buy on Vinted. For me, Depop doesn't really suit my style aesthetic, so I find a lot less things that I'm interested in personally. But that's being said, I found stuff for clients on Depop. So it's really about finding the platform where you feel your style tribe is going to hang out, because there's no point having Karen Millen dresses that sort of suit a more ex-city vibe and listing them all on Depop, which is more like fresh and urban and funky, because it's less likely you're going to find your audience on there. So this is what you need to do with reselling, rehoming. I think there is always a level of research and effort. I think people are always expecting for this.
Yes.
The absolute easiest option. And there are some options that are easier than others. But one thing I'd like to remind everybody is sustainability is a choice. And it's a choice we make because we're passionate about it. It's a choice we make because we believe it's the right thing to do. Unfortunately, with that choice, sometimes there requires that little bit more effort to go the extra mile. So whilst you're doing it, you just have to remind yourself that, yeah, you know, I'm doing this because I'm doing this for the right reasons, because I believe that these pieces shouldn't end up in landfill. I believe these pieces deserve to be loved by somebody else. And that can sometimes make a little bit of the extra work feel all the more rewarding. But ultimately, there is no quick and there is no silver bullet to get yourself to a place where you can say, ta-da, I am sustainable, ta-da, I have a sustainable wardrobe. There's no quick fix. It is all about the journey.
Yes, but you do get actually quite a bit back because you do save a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
that gets wasted. Because when we go on shopping sprees, gosh, all girls like a shopping spree, right? I mean, let's be frank. It feels really good at that moment, but it's almost like when you have a drink,
The
once you get
next
the
day, the
headache,
hangover.
it's over, right? And it's a bit like that with when you go shopping, it's wonderful, but then at the latest when you get your credit card bill and you see the damage you've done, and normally when you do a shopping spree, it's all emotional. It's not actually, you don't think through the purchases, and you end up with a lot of items that you actually are never going to use or use very little. So I do think that actually having a sustainable wardrobe is very beneficial from a monetary perspective because you save money. And personally, I thought it was a very balancing for my well-being because when I have to get dressed in the morning and I open my wardrobe and I can see exactly what there is and everything fits me, suits me, is wonderful. It's, you don't waste all that time thinking and trying pieces on and getting all sweaty and all anxious, it's just easy. So I think there are quite a few benefits as well.
Totally.
And
To building a sustainable wardrobe, absolutely. What to do with all of the stuff that you no
yeah,
longer want to keep? Let's not sugarcoat the fact that this process requires effort on your part.
absolutely,
It requires,
absolutely.
but the results, the outcome, the end feeling that you get through starting this journey and starting to see the results, you're absolutely right. I think the biggest thing outside of money, outside of saving time, which are both important factors, is how empowered and confident you feel about yourself as an individual.
Oh,
Because
yes.
clothing can really make or break your day. And if you get up and you step into an outfit and it just makes you feel crappy day ahead. So
Yeah, that's the strength of our psyche, isn't it?
absolutely, absolutely. So look, you have got the experience now of having a curated wardrobe, one where all the pieces are ones that you love. There's no saving things for best. Every day is your best day. I've seen such a change in you this year, seeing you starting to show up, smiling, feeling more confident, being more vibrant, really enjoying, you know, being you. And I think the transformation of of you personally as well, Giovanna, is very inspiring. And you just decided to take control of your wardrobe instead of letting your wardrobe control you. And I think that's the first step. Is it's really an empowering outcome.
Yes, and that's exactly why I wanted you on live because we are talking about Wellness Wednesdays, and to me, it's a part of wellness and well-being to have a sustainable wardrobe.
Absolutely, absolutely. How can you separate how you feel from your wardrobe? You can't.
But particularly for girls, right? It's such a core concern of us girls to feel empowered, to feel strong, to look good.
Absolutely. And look, I always say that there are many women out there that are missing a trick, because your wardrobe can become your secret weapon. Imagine waking up every day, to quote a very special client of mine who said she couldn't wait to get dressed every morning because she really enjoyed her new wardrobe. That was you, by the way. I just thought to myself, what an amazing thing to say, to look forward to getting dressed every day. Like, that is a game changer in terms of how you feel about yourself and your self-confidence. As we say, like, well-being is completely holistic. And if you can start your day by stepping into some clothes that make you feel good about yourself, it's the difference between waking up in the morning and eating a Mars bar, or having like a smoothie full of all the nutrients you need to get your body ramped up for the day, isn't it?
Yeah. And the power of clothing, I mean, it's not just for you as a stylist and for me, for somebody who owns a brand and is kind of like, I'm not really a public figure, but I am more publicly involved than with this job than with something else. It's also, if you think about, there are charities like SmartWorks and Suited and Booted for men. So SmartWorks is for women and Suited and Booted for men, that are they are stressing the importance of clothing to feel confident and empowered when you are actually seeking for a job
Oh
interview.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
those charities provide secondhand clothing, suits, and work dresses, work attire and work accessories to people who are actually don't have the money to buy new,
Mm-hmm.
and need to actually get themselves back onto the job market, and the power that the right piece of clothing is giving these people who are lacking of confidence because whatever past they had that put them into the unemployment situation is invaluable.
Oh,
So this is why.
absolutely. And I love the chat. I love this concept behind SmartWorks and, as you say, Suited and Booted for men, because yeah, clothes have the ability to completely transform your mood. There's a very famous saying about dress for success and dress for the job you want, not the job that you're in. Okay, these sayings have been around for ages, and there's so much truth in that. If you think about it, if you step into the clothes that represent the position and the lifestyle that you want, that is engaging with this aspirational self, that self-belief, like imagining what you may have thought was the impossible, but it's seeming possible because you've stepped into something that transforms the way you hold yourself, your posture, everything. I mean, clothes really can be magical. You know, my background is performing arts, and so I know how when you step onto a stage and you change costume, character change, you know, like it's like clothing is so incredibly powerful. And I think I know we're going to be wrapping up in a couple of minutes, but one thing to add is we're talking about empowerment and we're talking about building a sustainable wardrobe. And I just want to circle back to the wearing your values bit, because, you know, that was like one of my hashtags I started about 4 years ago, talking about wearing your values, because it was something that really helped me build my confidence.
Yes.
Understanding that a garment not only looks beautiful, makes me feel confident, but also understanding how the garment was made and knowing that the garment was made in line with my beliefs gives the garment so much more context in terms of it's not just something that's stopping me from being naked. It's actually something that is empowering me in full force from the inside, beliefs on the outside. And that for me,
you strike your boat by purchasing something.
Absolutely. And it might be purchasing something brand new, it might be purchasing something pre-loved, it might be purchasing something specifically from brands that are aligned with your values. As you know, Ethical Brand Directory gives you a filter so that you can go through and select the brands that are really aligned with your values. And I think, so glad I'm not outside right now. I think your torrential storm just made it to London.
Actually, in Surrey, the sun is shining at this very moment.
Oh, yeah, thank you. You sent
it's so variable. It's very variable.
It is horrible. Thank goodness I wasn't doing my photo shoot today at this time. That would have been an absolute washout. So you look, wearing your values is such an important part of the empowerment journey, and figuring out what's important to you in terms of finding businesses that also believe in the same things as you. I think that's a really important ingredient to add to the mix when you're creating your sustainable wardrobe and going on your journey. So people like Giovanna that have created the Morph bag, that believe in sustainability, that are all about timeless classic styles. You know, if Giovanna's products like speak to you, then these are the things that I would say, mark them up on your vision board as like investment pieces or pieces you would like, or, you know, if you're looking to gift responsibly to other people and, you know, they like want to emulate your style. So that's kind of like how I would say to people, how do you get started? Because when you support ethical and sustainable brands, the thing to bear in mind is running a business that's ethical and sustainable has much higher overheads and much smaller margins. So they can't really always afford to do sales. It's also not in their interest to do sales because then It's a different type of business. And you have to think about your cost per wear. So while something in the immediate instance might seem 4 to 5 times more expensive what you would pay on the high street, it's going to think about it lasting maybe 4 to 5 decades longer, not 4 to 5 washes or 4 to 5 uses. So when you start to do the cost per wear, you divide that by the price. You think, I have this handbag set. I'm going to use your brand as an example. I have this handbag set. I use one of the bags almost every day. So that's 365 days a year. I plan on using this bag for the next 5 to 10 years because this is never going to go out of fashion. Okay, so now I have to times 365 times 10 years. Okay, so now I have a number, and now I take the price of the product and I divide it by those two numbers, and then you have your cost per wear. And actually you think, wow, this is not going to actually cost me a great deal if I'm going to use it this much. And then you need to consider, if I had bought an alternative product of lower quality that is not aligned with my values, what are the chances that this piece is going to withstand the wear and tear of being used daily? Because then I would have to replace it. And this is something that people don't often think about. It's only when they work with a personal stylist that cost per wear gets almost drummed into their head, because a lot of the time people just look at the immediate ticket price and they just think about that as that one-time purchase, as opposed to breaking it down and thinking about it as an investment piece. If you're going to buy a new wash machine or refrigerator, you would want to look at the price of something and think, I'd rather buy something that's going to last the next 10 years than have to keep replacing this refrigerator every 6 months.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I must say that one of my favorite pieces and investment pieces I own is a MAC. It's a Burberry raincoat.
Yeah.
And I've had it for 20 years now, and I wear it a lot. Because even if I wear a t-shirt and a pair of denims, but then I put my Burberry trench coat on, I feel great.
Yeah.
And it's a piece that I've worn over and over again. And of course it was super expensive. And at that time I was comparing the price with other brands. But I then opted for that one. And I must say, it looks like new.
Yeah, well, this is the whole thing. I'd like to invite people to consider looking at supporting ethical and sustainable independent brands that produce high quality items, and seeing them as the same type of investment as you would be looking at when you go for a luxury brand. Now, I think ethically produced and sustainably produced is the new luxury. It doesn't matter if you don't necessarily know the brand's name, but quality is the name of the game, and transparency. So as long as the products can last a long time and you can find out everything you need to know about how the products are made, where they're manufactured and their suppliers, and the brand is transparent, that to me is the new luxury.
No, absolutely. And I think we went in so much detail here. I don't think we left any sustainable wardrobe stone unturned here in our life. I think we mentioned it all. Very comprehensive. Thank you so much, Roberta.
You're welcome, my darling. Obviously, you know where all my links are. So if anybody does want to learn about their personal style, I'm not really doing a great deal of private one-to-ones anymore, but I do have my styling course. And Giovanna, you can, of course, link to that because it is live. We'll take you through all the steps of how to create your personal style and build a sustainable wardrobe. So kind of perfect for this live.
Absolutely. Well, we'll put that in the link on the IGTV video. And actually, I'm going to post this on YouTube because I fear it's going to be a bit too long for IGTV. But I'll have a little trailer on the gradient on IGTV. And then also we'll need to add a link to your blog.
Oh, yes.
Because once we sorted out the wardrobes, we need to know what we do with the items.
Exactly. Well, you'll be able to head over to the Style Guides page on my website, where it's got all the most useful information of the most popular blogs that people are searching for when they are trying to build a sustainable wardrobe. Just about where to sell your clothes, best places to rent clothes. All of that information is over on the Style Guides page. So you are most welcome to link to it. It's completely free resources to help people on their journey.
Yes, and if you have any questions and you've been listening, please do leave them in the comments, and I will pass them on to Roberta, and I'm sure she will be kind enough to reply.
Absolutely. All right, my darling. Thank you so much for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much for your time. Have a lovely day and rest of the week.
You too.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.